Welcome to Setting Up a Quiz. This tutorial will cover how to create a new quiz and Desire to Learn. To begin, select the New text box. First, you will want to give your quiz a name. Next, in order for your quiz to show up in your gradebook, place the quiz in a grade item. I am going to also place my quiz in a quiz category as well. Now I am adding my quiz to a grade item I created in my gradebook. You can also create grade items and categories as you go if you have not set up your gradebook. To do that, you will click to the sides where it says Add Category or Add Quiz Item and create your own items as you go. Since I have set up my gradebook, I am going to choose one of my grade items to place my quiz. You can select Auto Export your quiz to your grades if you wish. This selection allows the quiz attempt by the student to be graded immediately after he or she completes the quiz. The optional advanced properties lets you decide if you want to give hints to answers and will let you disable right-click or control-click on a Mac when the student is taking the quiz. This helps reduce the possibility of cheating. Messages are optional. You can type a message if there is something special about the quiz you would like to keep in mind. You can also write an introduction to the quiz if you wish. This would be ideal if there are special properties to the quiz or special instructions you need to give students to proceed through the quiz. You can also create headers and footers as well. This option would be ideal if the quiz is long and students need guidance to keep track. The next step is to set restrictions for the quiz. To do so, select the Restrictions tab. All quizzes are inactive until you set the active status. This is where you can set the dates for the quiz. Most professors set a start and an end date for quizzes. You can override these restrictions later if you have a student who needs to take a late test. You have the option to add additional release conditions. You would create release conditions if, for example, a student had to have had passed another assessment with X greater points before he or she could proceed to the next quiz. If you do not have those items for your course, you can skip this step. Timing for quizzes is needed in most cases. It is here where you can decide the length of time a student has to take a quiz. Here is where you set the time limit. Here you have the option to enforce the time and show students their testing time. In most cases, you will want to select these two options. A grace period allows a student to have a small amount of overtime to complete a quiz. You can set this to any time you wish. The late submission will allow students to submit their quizzes late. You would choose late submission if you want to allow a student a minute or two extra to submit their quiz. The auto submit option would automatically submit their quiz once the time and grace period were up. How you want to set up your quiz is up to you. Advanced availability can set up special time for students. You would select the second option for students with special needs who need more time to take quizzes. The next tab is Attempts. This will let you set how many times a student has a chance to take a quiz. For my quiz, I will give the learner only one attempt. If you are using a quiz to let students practice certain abilities or skills, you can change the number of attempts. Submission Views lets you set up how the student will see their quiz submission. You can set up a special view if you wish by selecting the Add Additional View button. The final step of creating quizzes is setting up the quiz layout and adding questions. Layout and quiz questions will be discussed in another tutorial. This concludes the tutorial.